Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miist back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video. Going to be talking about every movie I watched last week, and yeah, actually it's going to be a little bit early this week, obviously. Now, the reason why is because I'm going to Ontario to visit my parents, and I'm going to be there for about 9 days, which will be pretty fun, I think. So, yeah, I am not here on Sunday or Monday, which is why this video is coming out a little bit early. And yeah. Anyways, decided I wanted to do at least most of this week, and then I guess this weekend will be in my next video, probably at least. So yeah, I mean, let's get into it. Let's start off with my least favorite watch of the week, which is Bird Box Barcelona, which yeah, I watched it. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about this movie. It wasn't good. Wasn't very interesting. And I don't think the original Bird Box is all that interesting either. And yeah, 36 out of 100. Well, let's move on to Bird Box, which was okay. I didn't mind it, at least. It was, it had its decent moments, but I don't know, I feel like there's always kind of a letdown once you get to the end of the movie because you never really get a reveal of anything, and it doesn't really build on that in the second either, I don't find. But yeah, 58 out of 100. It was okay. It was fine. Let's move on to Push, which, truthfully, the only reason I am watching this movie is because Chris Evans is in it, and I want to go through most of his filmography, which I have gone through most already, to be fair, but ranked it a 68 out of 100, and actually some pretty enjoyable stuff here. And I think this would actually benefit from a TV show. It would have been a pretty solid TV show, I think, if it had maybe like 6 to 10 episodes maybe. I think this would be a pretty good limited series, and maybe that's something that should happen in the future, because I think this is actually interesting, and there's a lot here, and it would be fun if we got more of it, because truthfully I kind of wish this movie was longer, because it kind of felt a little rushed at times. So I think it would actually benefit from maybe like a remake into a TV show, which would be kind of cool. But yeah, 68 out of 100. I enjoyed Push. Let's move on to one of the themes of the week, which is 28 Weeks Later, which I ranked a 70 out of 100, which I enjoyed. A great opening scene, probably my favorite opening scene of the week, probably, I'd say, and definitely of this trilogy. And yeah, I mean, overall the movie I thought was pretty decent. The opening scene was awesome, although these types of movies, these types of world-ending disease movies, I don't really like the trope of when someone is naturally immune to the disease and they need that person to be protected at all cost. It's just kind of an annoying trope that's in every, zombie movie almost, it feels like. So it's in World War Z as well. I'm trying to think of what else. Anyways, yeah, I had a good time with this movie as well. Ranked at 78 out of 100. Let's move on to Sex, Lies, and Videotape, which is one of the last of the Steven Soderbergh movies I want to go through. One of my goals this year was to go through his filmography. This was one of the last ones I needed to do, and really all I need to do left is Aaron Brockovich, which I'm going to do with Mel at some point this year, hopefully. And don't know if I'm going to watch Magic Mike or not. Don't really know if I want to do that. Anyways, this is a pretty interesting movie. And yeah, to be fair, I don't really have a whole lot to add to it or to discuss about it. I just enjoyed it. Ranked it a 71 out of 100. Let's move on to Polytechnic, which you may have never even heard of, but it is a Denis Villeneuve movie, and obviously I wrote a lot here, which I think you should probably just read, but yeah, typically I don't really know what I'm going to say about these movies whenever I'm talking about them, but there's definitely some stuff I would like to kind of highlight in my review here. So as a Canadian, I'm sad I've never heard about this before, and I never knew that this happened. Now, to be fair, this happened in 1989, and I was born in 2001, so it was a little bit before my time, but it's kind of sad. Like, sometimes you don't learn about stuff in Canada. I find, I am Canadian. I was born and raised here in the same province that I've been in my entire life, and I feel like sometimes you just don't learn about these things, which kind of sucks. It's probably something that we should learn about more. And when I asked my mom about this, if she remembered this, she said she remembered it vividly, and that's actually a big. I can't remember exactly what she had said, but she told me that that was a big movement towards like International Women's Day, which I didn't know, and that's pretty cool, which I think is very cool. And this is obviously a pretty tragic story about a school shooting, specifically to mechanics and engineers that are women, which is really stupid and really hard to comprehend, because this man was so much of an anti-feminist, which is really sad. You can see I end my review here with, I think everyone should be a feminist, and I still believe that. I think I'll always believe that. Being raised by my mom, particularly, she was kind of a single mom for like the first, I don't know, like 6 years of my life, I guess. And my mom and I are very close. I think I was just kind of raised that way, that, everyone should be accepted, everyone should have equal rights, and, especially women. Women are the reason this world is not on fire 24/7, even though it kind of seems like it is. And I think everyone should be supporting women. If anything, I think men should probably have less rights. But yeah, women deserve everything, and the men in power do not give them that, and they deserve that, and we should not be the ones to make that choices for them either. So yeah, anyways, please watch Polytechnic, mostly because it's kind of grim to watch, but I think I don't even know how to describe it. It's a movie that I think should bring awareness to the feminist movement. And truthfully, again, I enjoy this movie, and I think that everyone should be a feminist. Everyone should be fighting for women's rights, because women deserve the rights that they deserve, and this movie kind of just put that in hindsight more, that that women are better than men, and they probably always will be. So yeah, let's move on to 28 Days Later, which I ranked in 81 out of 100, which I really enjoyed. It took me a little while to get used to the shaky cam and the crazy editing and cuts, but I think I got used to it throughout this franchise, so I enjoyed it. There's some pretty terrifying and haunting imagery throughout this film, which I really enjoy, and then of course this movie really is all about the I guess unlikely potential of what could happen in this world, I guess, in this case, because it's really just an interesting movie about how humans are worse. Humans are the worst. And this, again, especially men. Like I said, men are shitty. And that's just the truth. Alright, let's move on to 28 Years Later, which I literally just got back from the theater seeing this, which I enjoyed this movie. It's quite solid. One of my favorites of the year so far. And for the most part, I was really enjoying this movie. I felt like it got long a little bit for a while. I checked my phone around halfway through the movie thinking we were almost done. And I'm like, oh, we are literally halfway through the movie. So that kind of sucked. It felt like it was a little long at times. And the third act, the final 40 minutes, the climax, it gets kind of weird. And it's probably not for everyone, but it gets kind of weird. But I think I've just kind of accepted that with a Danny Boyle film, so yeah. Still, though, I enjoyed it. 83 out of 100. Like I said, one of my favorites of the year so far. Alright, let's move on to Her, which is a pretty big movie, and this is an interesting movie as well, because if 2021 or 2022, even early 2023, Ethan had to watch this movie, I think I would have been quite destroyed. I don't think I would have been very hopeful coming out of this, because me watching it now kind of brings me back to a time where I was so devastatingly lonely and alone, and I felt so alone and desperate. Like, I don't know, I felt so lonely and depressed, and it was a rough time, really, for me. And I think if I had to watch this in that time, I don't think that would have been good for my mental health. So I'm glad I ended up watching this now, because I'm so happy now. I've talked about this before. I'm just very happy in my life right now. And this movie kind of brings me back, or brought me back to a time in my life where I did not feel that way. And it makes me very thankful for the way that I am now. Because I think for a long time I really struggled to deal with emotions. And I think just kind of pushed everything down, shoved everything away. And I was always giving out advice, but I was never taking advice, and I didn't want anyone's help. So yeah, it's quite a relatable movie, I would say, and it's quite a great movie as well. Ranked at an 85 out of 100. Let's move on to Better Man, which I ranked a 90 out of 100. Honestly, this might have been the most shocking of the week. This was a fantastic musical, and one of Mel's friends absolutely loves Robbie Williams, and she'd always recommended this movie to me, and I never seen it in theaters. It wasn't in theaters for around here very long anyways, but I wish I had seen this in theaters, because this is a great movie, and I loved the soundtrack as well. I had a lot of fun with this movie, and I really would like to watch it with Mel, because I think she would enjoy this. And ironically enough, she actually rewatched The Greatest Showman this week, which is same director, Michael Gracie, and I can feel that, and I just wish Mel could have watched this with me, but it wasn't really something she was interested in, so hopefully I'll convince her to watch it with me at some point. But speaking of convincing Mel to watching something, The Empire Strikes Back is my favorite watch of the week so far. I mean, in these 5 days, I guess, but ranked it a 100 out of 100. Really enjoy this movie. Obviously, I just watched it last month. It hasn't been long at all since I watched it, but yeah, I mean, it's one of my favorite movies for a reason. It's fantastic, and loved it. Mel didn't love it, which I'm a little upset about. I think she ranked it a 3.5, which I'm a little upset about, but that's alright. I'll allow it. Anyways, thank you guys all so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.